Hi, y'all. I just wanted to tell you about a dream that I had. Oh, great. Y'all, look at this. Freaking so annoying. Yeah, so there's this like flowery plant. I don't know, it's a weed. And it is a weed, but it looks pretty at first. And then now it's like leaving those things that get stuck to your sweaters and your dog's fur. Yeah, just found one on me. But anyways, I wanted to tell you about a dream I had a few days ago, maybe 3 or 4 days ago. I didn't talk about it. Mama. I love you, Bubba. I didn't talk about it because I want people to think that I'm crazy or still processing it. But me, my husband, I don't remember if Ava was there or not. Ava enough. I know there were people with us. But sometimes when I wake from my dream, I don't exactly remember every person, and it's usually because the detail of who those people were isn't necessarily important. But we were in this, what appeared to be like a long hallway, kind of like when you're going into a movie theater. Ava, I'm going to shoo you out. And in the hallway, you know how like when you're like at an opera or like a high school play, you know how they have the curtain and it moves. And sometimes when you're sitting in actual theater, they have like what is that called? The thing that moves, the curtain. They have the curtain like pattern against the wall of the theater. Well, where we were walking, that hallway had like a theater curtain. It was solid. It was just a wall. I know because people were leaning on it and there were things that were plugged into the wall, although that curtain was there to make it look like a theater almost. I'm assuming we were at the movies. As we're walking though, we get to the back of this like photo booth prop, whatever that's set up there. And I don't know what made me like pull on the curtain, but I did, and I went through to the other side. And on the other side of this curtain, it's like I stepped into like a black and white world, and it wasn't cool. It was like eerie feeling. Everything was white. The trees were black. And what was crazy about the trees is they appeared to be burning even though there was no fire. Like, you know how when you have a fire going in the fireplace or a bonfire, you can hear the crackling of the fire or the wood burning? Well, that's what you could hear. So it was all quiet. There was nobody. There were no cars in a parking lot. There was nothing. It was like an empty parking lot, a few skinny trees, and the branches that were there, some of them were falling off. I could hear them burning, and they were black, like they were like ash trees. And I could see shadows on the ground. And every now and then, the shadows would disappear behind the trees that were around me. And I remember being like, oh my God, like, this is not a good feeling. There's something going on. Just dark black ash falling. But at the same time, it wasn't dark. It was really light. Everything was white. Everything. And so I remember trying to get through the wall, and the wall was solid, so I couldn't get to the other side where everyone else was. So I started banging, and I was like, oh God, help me, Lord, help me. And then I like ended up falling through this curtain. And I was trying to tell everyone, you know, what I saw on the other side of the curtain. And so other people were wanting to go and see. And it started getting a little chaotic. Like, tons of people were like going through this area. But remember, when I went over there, I couldn't get back to the other side. And so at this point, like everyone's over there now and I can hear them talking and stuff, and then I hear them yelling. And now when I go to move the curtain, I can't get over to the other side. But I hear everyone yelling, and Ricky kept telling me, babe, like, what did you do to come over here? And I was like, I just panicked. I didn't do anything. He was like, what were you doing, Alex? He's like, come on, retrace your steps. What did you do? I was like, babe, like, I literally walked through there. I saw everything, and then I just start to panic. I didn't necessarily see anything either. I just started banging on the wall, and he's like, what did you say, Alex? What did you say? And then I remembered that I said, God, please help me. And he did. Like, he allowed me to come through, and that's when I realized, like, I asked God to help me. And everyone that was yelling, but they weren't yelling out to God. They weren't saying, God, please help me. They weren't saying, God, forgive me. They weren't nothing. They were yelling, help, get me out of here. But never in any of it did they call for God's help. And so the wall remained solid. I remember Ricky going to the door and telling them, guys, just please ask God for help. Just ask God for help. Like, that's what Alex did. Just try doing it. You don't have to necessarily believe that it'll happen, but just call out to God. And as they did, they started falling through this curtain. Like, just, the wall was no longer there. I remember we ended up leaving that building, and the outside was normal when we left the building. I'm not saying that tomorrow the world's going to be black and white, that God's coming, and you need to give yourselves. What I'm interpreting from this message, and the message I got behind it, was that that's all we need to do. Is like, we're so loved by the Lord that, like, all we need to do is to call out to him. Even if your heart is at the state of not believing that it's possible, it's just starting to open your mouth, even if you don't believe. Like, you have to start there. If the doctors say that, you only have 2 weeks to live, it's taking that to the Lord, even if you don't believe it. Lord, I know I only have 2 weeks to live. And if this is your will, let it be. But these 2 weeks, I want to give my 2 weeks of life to you, and lay down what it is that you want before you leave. Like, Lord, I want you to bring my child to know you. I want to leave knowing that my family has peace, love, and light. I want to live longer. I don't want to leave my children yet, and see what God wants you to do for him in exchange for whatever it is that you want from him. And everyone's always like, oh, I made a deal with the devil. I made a deal with the devil and sold my soul for this. But let me tell you, when you make a deal with the Lord, it's a different kind of promise. It's a different kind of connection. And he's not going to take your life from you, but he's going to give it to you. He's going to teach you how to be more in control of your life. He's going to teach you discernment. He's going to teach you how to trust and have faith. You're going to have room in your heart for love and for healing. You're going to be able to heal people because you yourself are healing. Like, it's a different kind of situation. And I just felt like the need to share my dream. It's been sitting on me, and I felt like I should have talked about it yesterday, and I started feeling really tired, and just think that's like, I started sewing, and I just was like, I don't really want to be sounding preachy, but we are in a time where you need to start having faith and practicing faith. Don't let fear stop you from having faith. Don't let fear stop you from calling out to our Creator. Okay? I don't care if you think that the book is full of fairy tales and that miracles aren't real, but if you have a little bit of faith, it leaves room for those miracles to happen. Okay? It makes room for those dreams to come true. It makes room for you to be more confident. Okay? Right. I love you guys. Thank you, Ava, for being patient with Mama while I tell everyone my dream. You gonna say bye? My little duck face? I love you. I love you more. I love my baby girl. Bye, guys.